What's going on, guys? How is everyone? I haven't even been in the gym lately. To be fair, it kind of shows a little bit. I'm not as strong as normal. But I'm 40 years old, so I'm getting old. What's been happening, guys? What's new? I got my 16 drinks beside me, so I'm ready for a decent chat. How you guys going? How's things? What's everyone been up to? How's everyone? How's the demoralization campaign going for everyone? Is it starting to get to you yet? Do you guys understand when I talk about the Freemasonry ideas that all of you, essentially the Masonry concept of if you need a hero, we will build one for you and present them to you. That's the story. Like, that's true. I told you guys what Freemasonry is. Judaism's another. Like, Judaism and the beliefs and things that they have, they're not necessarily all bad. It's when they go down the Kabbalah trails, like when they start going down that route. Freemasonry in the lodge is not bad. Like, when the guys get together at the lodge and they talk and they do all of the things, that's not bad. It's when it happens at the higher levels that it's much worse. Like, most people you go to the Freemasonry lodges, you walk around, you talk to most of the people. A lot of the thing is just the truth. There's no bullshit. Like, the most of the people there you'll find are very honorable people at the lodges of Freemasonry. You can't just arrive there. And one, you have to believe in God, or you have to believe in a higher path to be there. You can be a Satanist in the lodge as well. But to be a Satanist, you must acknowledge that God exists as well. But a non-believer cannot be a Freemason. And you can't be there as a convict either. You have to be a free man by definition. But at the lodges and things like that, it's not bad. But they're just an arm of essentially, it's more of a cabal at the higher level. Like everything. Everything is like that. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of it. At the very top, the power and the rules don't apply. It's the truth of the matter. And that's just how it is. Like Judaism, and there's another, right? It's not that they're bad or that they're bad people. It's that when they get into the Kabbalah trail, like, who do you think that you're talking to when you start to do all of these mysticism and things like that? Do you really think that sort of stuff isn't real? Like, some people really think that sort of shit isn't real. All that mysticism, witchcraft, talking to the other side, essentially you walk around as a receiver. None of these thoughts are your own. Like, I know some people are really like that. They're really stuck in like, they're playing like 2D, and the game itself is like, there's really just an endless amount of dimensions. You really need to understand all of these concepts. Nothing exists until it's observed and then it's smashed together. Whether you're to think about it and then it actually does exist, that's another. But everything exists in fluidity, and then as soon as you look at it, it smashes together. Everything is in a superposition. Like, all of that shit is real. Quantum mechanics, quantum physics. That's as real can get. It's the nature of it. And then a lot of those concepts and things, essentially. That's why I try to tell you guys to look internal. If you guys could kind of fix what it is internal and align yourselves, you can perform types of magic yourself. Like, you're actually moving towards a direction. The life that you want is magnetized to you, and it actually draws you to it. But you have to know what you want, and society is designed so that you don't know exactly what you want. You guys really don't see that your influences, and I have to get straight into it, are all fucking, like, they're all scumbags. The worst influencer is the one who knows that they're peddling you bullshit and they still do it. See, a lot of influencers are fine because they jump on and they're entertaining. See, a lot of you guys, like, there's certain influencers who are on there and they're doing shit that can be immoral or whatever, but they're only existing to entertain. You think that they're educators for some reason? Like, you turn on Nickelodeon and you're trying to learn from the Rugrats show. That's solely entertainment for children, but you're watching it as an adult. All that happened was you went from watching Jersey Shore and Geordie Shore and shows like that, and you realize that it's a reality show. It's not really real. Like, yes, they're real people, but the scenarios and the situations aren't real. They're not real reactions. They're incentivized to, like, cause a scene. They're just acting different. Also, they're acting different because they're observing the process changes the process. But then you see people jump onto podcasts and things like that, and you didn't know that it was staged. I do podcasts too. I know that they're staged. Like, they really are. Before I go to do a podcast, every single time someone messages me being like, can I send you the list of questions and things that I'm going to ask you? I don't need the list because I don't have anything to hide, but they all take the lists. They stop podcasts and then restart. There's certain shit they can't talk about. You can't bring a famous person on your show and then ask them any questions that they don't want to be asked. You can't disagree with them because you're finished. Like it's all a circle jerk in the podcast scene is a circle jerk. I cannot do a podcast with anyone who's higher up. I'm banned. I'm essentially nuked from that podcast scene. I can't be in there because I don't toe the line. Like I know that eventually I'll go rogue and then I'll blow their whole spot up. It's the truth of the matter. They won't publish it. They won't air it. I've done podcasts before where they've deleted it after we've done it because their little shtick is over. That's the thing with streaming. That's also partly why we're building SoulStake. Podcasting is dying. Like the whole section of podcasting is bullshit. I hope you really know that. Like it's so fake that it's just completely fake. Like guys doing the podcast circuits, that's all fake. Like that's all staged. That's all organized. It's just a giant PR run. It's like Jordan Peterson shit. It's all solely PR. Again, it doesn't really matter what you say. It's who you are. Like it's easy to say a bunch of stuff and sound clever and I'm strong and I'm this guy and I'm that. But what are you actually doing? Speaking is less important than who you are. Like Jordan Peterson can stand there and say a bunch of smart things, but he's like fundamentally like weak. He's a pussy. He was shelling for Netanyahu. He's bought and paid for. And again, don't think that people would jump on and be like, oh, you don't like Jewish people, you don't like Israel, you don't like that. I don't really like Israel. I'll admit that. But I don't not like Jewish people. Some of them are very intelligent. And I respect what they do in their community. They really look after each other. I respect that a lot. But I think that they have, in my view, and too much influence on the West. There's a country that's a very tiny spot, and it's on everyone's lips, like it's on everyone's mind. They're a small country. They don't have a big army compared to be talking about countries like the US, Oz, the UK. So is it not startling that such a small place has such a big influence on the world? So that's the state. Like that's the saying. I know I've said too much, and that I'll eventually I will find myself in legal problems because I've said about Zionism and like Zion. That's the biggest problem. You can't talk about that. As soon as I started talking about the Christian Zionist movement and essentially the turning point, the Erica Kirk and things like that, I've started getting death threats. A close friend of mine who's important asked me to never speak about that again, and he's very important. He said that you can't talk about that topic. That's the truth of the matter. Eventually, can very well be in prison for talking about that topic. That's the one thing. And if you're a Muslim person, and I hope that you also understand, they're trying to push you to worship the beast as well. This Muslim Brotherhood idea of you're going to live to see a time in the Muslim idea where they separate being a Muslim from Islam, like they have to. That's going to be the idea. And it's going to be the similar idea of essentially the Christians are going to be pushed towards these these turning point ideas, and they're going to splinter away what it means. The traditionalists and the OGs and the ones who follow the framework and all of these things, they're very rigid. Like the Quran is very rigid. You can't it's there, and they don't change it. They don't sway off it. But now they say that the ones who are there's going to be a lot of they hate preachers. They're Muslim Brotherhood. They're this, they're that. They're bad. And then the others are good, but then they're going to sculpt them into the beast over time. All of them will converge into one over time. It's the truth of the matter. They're going to say that a lot of these ideas of, you're going to see, this Muslim brother, more of the caveman ideas where they're essentially these Taliban and things like that. They gave them all of these freedoms again and all of this stuff just so that they could do a bunch of bad shit. And now they're publishing it again. So they make them look bad. But they've enabled them the whole way through. It's all a complete psyop. Guys don't see I Show Speed is in Africa. And now he's getting panel just guest after guest after guest that looks like a savage, acting like animals over there. But that's all, again, that's another psyop. All African people, there's a real psyop that you go to Nigeria or something like that. And I'm not saying that it's safe. It's not completely safe. Obviously, it's a rough place. They don't have a lot of money. But they're not complete animals over there. They make out that these people are fucking just pretty much pick a dog up off the street and start eating it. They're complete barbarians. And then he gets guest after guest after guest. And it's shirtless strong men and all of this. They have no scholars on there, no intellects. There's no one who is actually doing anything. There's no guy who's like even really wearing fucking clothes over there. And they put them on and it just looks like they're just animals. That's all it's like. Because then you see that Israel is trying to push through Somaliland or Somaliland, whatever the fuck they call it. But they're trying to get that area recognized as their area. And then you see the Somali daycare, and you really think those people were doing those intricate frauds? They weren't. That was all intentional. You remember the guy who got shot? Was it Tim Waltz or something? Someone around there got shot, and he was a part of like that specific division in Minnesota. It's all a complete psyop. You need to realize, and this is another dangerous thing to talk about. Your ICE people are trained via the IDF, like they've been training in Israel, specifically the leadership. And you laugh, like if you really get behind these ICE movements and you think that they're funny, because they're funny today. They're testing the Palantir tech. They're testing that they can take people's rights away, and then they're going to be using them on you if you have any anti-Semitism or your social credit's too low. Why would ICE train in Israel? Do you really think that Israel has anything to teach any American soldiers or any military at all? How to hurt civilians? America's miles ahead of every other police military force in the world. They have the best training centers in the world. They have nothing to learn in those places. They go there, they get bled, and they kiss the wall. That's a fact. To be in the IDF, and it's a very dangerous thing to say, but you have to kill. Like that's a part of the job. If they're 18, 19, they have to do it for like a year or two because they bleed them in. And then from that period onwards, your soul is gone. Like if you're killing civilians, your soul is finished. Like it's gone. It's one thing to kill militants. Like it's another thing to kill soldiers. I mean, war is war, right? But you're killing civilians with sticks and stones, and you have rifles, weapons, tanks, APCs. Like there's nothing about it that you're killing. Like it's like running around and shooting a dog. They don't have any weapons. Why? Because they fire rockets. That's all theater. That's a theatrical. That's a display. When you see the rockets fly up, and that's all theater, because then it gets recorded on video and it makes a cool video. And then they say, wow, they're really under a barrage. We need to send them more money. That's all bullshit. Like that's all theater. Like you're watching it. You're watching a performance. You're meant to see it. That's all theater. Those people have nothing to teach the American soldiers. The American soldiers are the best at everything to do with war. There's no country that can even touch America in the battlefield. I've said it before. They have technology that people can't even imagine. They talk about like this discombobulator or shit like that. They have all of that stuff. They would have like variations of alien tech. My uncle was in Vietnam, and he told me that this was he was an Australian officer. So they had an idea of shit that was going on. They weren't like some animals. And he told me that they saw their first Leopard tank come out of a river. So they had these tanks, the US had them, and they didn't know. And they would go down in the river, park it there, and then they could drive it out. And he said that when he saw it come out, they thought that it was some sort of alien craft. And he was an officer, like he's a very educated person. And he said that he thought that technology was like really strange. And this is a civilized person. And this was what, like 50 years ago or 60 years ago? Can you only imagine the shit that they have today? And then people laugh and they're like, oh, yeah, brown people are getting smashed by ice and all of this. There's nothing funny about that. There's nothing funny about they brought them in solely to do this. They let them in intentionally so that they could cramp down on them and then create all of these laws that they'll use on you later. They created the very issue that they come to solve once again. We had this with the bikie laws in Australia. I was charged under VLAD. I wasn't a bikie. Now they use them on you during COVID, and they're using them now to pass all of these laws. That was the beginning. We need to do all of this surveillance on the bikie gangs. They weren't even a problem. They weren't hurting the average person. As anti-Semitism isn't a problem now. Kanye and all of that, they were paid tens of millions of dollars, probably even 100 million plus, to pump out that Hail Hitler song. Clubs were paid to pump it out. Who do you think owns the clubs? They create the very problem that they come to fix with more laws. That's all it is. Like all of these influencers, they're all bought out. I hope you know that. You sit there and you're like, but not this guy. Yes, that guy. Everyone. It's all Masonic theater. For real. The game is over. Like, I hope you know that. The game is over for you because you're surrounded by troops and you don't realize that none of the troops that you're with are even on your team. The best operation is that you're being led by a general that's not even on your team. That's the fucking brilliance of it. You're being pushed towards being single, a degenerate, a fuckboy, undateable, unlovable, come fucking guy who doesn't even know who he is, obsessed with what people think of you, like trying to flex on people for some reason, because if they like you or think that you're cool, that means anything. You're being completely pushed away from anything of substance. While the elites and the people who matter are unified, they're not divided. They don't run around and talk about being fuckboys and talk about cheating and well, women ain't shit and all of this. They have a wife and kids. They're creating a legacy. They're telling you to be a fuckboy and act like a rapper. Breaking Free is just my small product where I upload a bunch of videos and things like that. Whether it's worth it or not is to be determined. It is quite cheap. But you have to check it out. You can always check it out for a month and then not follow it if you want. But who do you think really controls the worlds? I mean, is it not so obvious? Like, really, it's so obvious. Like, how can you not know? Like, the devil rules the roost here. You best fucking start to understand. The devil is in charge here at this present moment. It's the truth. Like, that's very obvious. You're being pushed down a very set funnel. It's to form revelations. Like, that's so obvious. Like, revelations can happen within 15 or 20 years from here. Like, it's not that far away. That's really obvious. Like, if you can't see that the whole world has changed since COVID in 6 years, you can only imagine the next 6. Like, they didn't have a lot of the laws that they have now. They couldn't do a lot of this shit that they did before COVID. Who knows what was in the vax? There's something wrong with that vaccine. I hope you know. And if you took it, I've taken one as well. There's something very wrong with that. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something wrong with the vaccine for sure. Is Earth almost certain to hit 10K this cycle? Yes, but this cycle can be fucked now until like July. I do believe that there's very likely to be a liquidity event in the next few months, which actually causes a crash. I mean, it's probably more likely than not, but still flip a coin because 80K is still big support. Yeah, I don't know how long my channel will stay up, but then I'll still be on SoulStake. That's why I'm building it. So I'm building SoulStake TV, which is essentially a streaming platform that doesn't it's decentralized because it runs on live peer, so there's no bans and none of that shit. What do you recommend with for a 27-year-old to do with his money before 2030? It's tough. Like, it really is hard. I'm not going to stand here and say to you that that it's easy, because it's not. Like, there's so many parts that you could invest in so many areas and so many markets, and then Trump can just come out and pump a tweet out and kill your whole market for the next 6 months. So it's very difficult, but that's all by design. Like, it's designed to be turbulent. It's designed to all of these like big moments and things, like where he can move the scale so it moves into one industry and then that industry crashes and it's another. That destroys people's wealth. Like, that fucks up the guys like us, right? People who are, already have their access to the information early and open leverage trades and closure of leverage trades, and they make a bunch of money off that. Like, volatility is good for them, and exchange volatility is good for exchanges, but it's not good for us really. But from 27-year-old how to make money with the next 4 or 5 years, it depends what you're already good at. I would hope that you're good at something, and then I would think, how can I scale it to multiply what it is that I already make from that specific field. And if it's just a job of like you're working at McDonald's or something like that, well, then you can't really scale. You have to learn something online. I don't know what you're good at. Maybe you're good at sales. Maybe you're good at marketing, good at something. But like, it's a smash and grab out here. Like, I hope you know that at the moment. Like, everyone kind of who's kind of getting closer to can see where it's coming. Yeah, you could use Breaking. Yeah, Breaking Free has there's good explanations of building wealth in there. I mean, you can ask questions and things like that as well. Nvidia, Metal, and AMD. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. We'll have to see how it goes. I would assume that, what we got IPOs. I think SpaceX. What's the other one? SpaceX, OpenAI. I think they'll do Anthropic or something like that as well. So I would believe that in the AI space, I mean, when those companies come out at like 1 trillion valuations, a lot of the companies similar to that, like the ugly ducklings, will do well. I would believe that the AI space and crypto will do well. I think Sky AI can still do well. Like I think that it can still be a good project. What's it now? Like 4 cents or something. I'll check. I've been talking about it since it was like one cent something. I'll check what price it is. Yeah, 4 cents. So I mean, it's like 150% for me. But yeah, but still, the market sucks, right? Like the crypto market is shit. Gold and silver guys are going crazy as though like even if you get like a 4x or something. Let's say you got into silver at $25. Like unless you're in leverage, like does it matter? Did you have enough money? Like I mean, you need to have like $1 million in that market to really like that. A 4x isn't enough. That's the lottery ticket mentality. That's why altcoins will have their cycle because everyone needs that. Like someone sitting there being like, "Oh, I 4x'd my money in 2 years." You're gonna need to like 40x your money in the next 4 years. Yeah, it's nice to have money and be like, "Oh, I turned 10K into 30 over a few years," but maybe the purchasing power is not that far away from the original 10K that you had. Like the money is turning into toilet paper money. Do you have contact with guy that introduced you into crypto? No, I don't have contact with her. He owns a very large company now, but I don't have contact with him at the moment. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see each other again. I don't reach out to him and dick ride him. The hard thing is someone like that is now incredibly wealthy. You can't everyone wants to talk to them from the past. So it puts yourself in a position where you just look like one of those people that just wants to take shit from them. When you're, I don't know, you're famous, you own some big platform, you have something that people want. Everyone asks you for shit nonstop, and it gets tiring. People ask me for shit all the time, and I'm not even like 1% as rich as this person or as famous. People ask me for shit nonstop, like constantly. They want something. And worst thing is it's annoying because they want something, but they don't ask. And then they ask later. It's tiring. Like it's like they're just coming in and like patting you on the head for a while, and then suddenly they're gonna have a big ask of something, and it's annoying. Everyone wants shit. And I get it. But I mean, you're just one person. And that's the thing. Like, how does one person gonna look after 100? How's that possible? How's one person even going to look after 10 in today's society? You can be very rich, but looking after 10 people is very fucking hard. I look after, and I mean that I pay for them to live. My mom, my ex, my daughter, who else? I help another family member out, and I help like probably another one or two people out. So I'm paying for the lives of like 6 or 7 people all of the time. You think that doesn't get tiring? She has my daughter. See, the thing with exes is if they have your daughter and then you don't give them any money, then they're going to meet a new guy, and the guy's going to have them in a bad position so that they can treat your daughter like shit. See, these ideas of these like fuckboy retard ideas of like, I don't see my ex, or like, I don't see my kid and I don't care. Like, I'll just give them $5 and like, they'll find me when they're older. That's so stupid. Like, that's just so juvenile. Like, those ideas are really childish because all that happens is your ex or whatever with your daughter is in a bad position. She has no money. And then she's going to meet a guy who's like, okay, she's a single mom and she's in a bad position. Now I'm going to fuck with her. And if I'm fucking with her, I'm going to fuck with your kid too because your kid's there as well. You're putting you're putting your kid in a position of weakness. That's the idea. Like that stuff is really the idea. Like I hope you guys know when your influencers run around and they're like, oh, I don't care about my kids and I don't care about my ex and it's all fun and games and things like that. They're like, again, they're pushing propaganda to you. The elites don't do that. The elites look after their kids, obviously. Like that's the thing. It's not glorifying being a deadbeat dad. Like that's not funny. It's funny to you because you don't have kids. Most of you, if you're honest, you hate women as well. And a lot of people, if they're honest, they hate women also because they're fags. Like a lot of your influencers are homos. Like a lot of the guys running around and chest beating and screaming and all of this. They look like they're prepping fucking baby oil and like being fucking weirdos. I think that once you essentially lose your soul in that way, you're completely fluid. And a lot of those guys who you follow will be fags. Like they'll actually be bisexual because they go completely fluid. Once you've sold your soul, like why not go to completely all of the way out? I'm not against it, but a lot of you need to realize like a lot of the guys you follow hate women. And it's not normal to hate women because you reject that part of yourself. Like you're born, you have both the masculine and the feminine. I mean, you need to study some Jung. If I can get your attention for 10 seconds, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I'm not in a rush to be buying any more shit coins. Do you think you can detox somehow the vaccine? I don't know enough about it. I take NAC and alpha lipoic ALA. I take a bunch of that antioxidant shit, but I don't know if it would help. I think that it's possible or quite likely that mRNA, whatever the vaccine was, something that altered your DNA. Altered it into what will be to be determined. But I don't think anyone is better off having taken it. But then others who didn't take it, I mean, people like, but I didn't take it. But like you're kind of cooked anyway. Like, does it really matter? How do your day look like day in the life of SIB? It's a good question. So today I didn't wake up till like 10, 10:30, 8, and then checked fucking emails. Really not that exciting, to be fair. Checked emails, see what the team are up to. I got six guys building SoulStake. So I got 6 full-time developers. We just hired another one. He started yesterday. And yeah, he's the Web3 developer. He started yesterday in SoulStake. And then I got an invite to speak at a Tokenized Summit in Hong Kong. So I'll be there in 2 weeks speaking about SoulStake. I got an invite to be a speaker on there. So that'll be interesting. And then I'll be at Consensus as well. And that's the thing. Do I think taking TRT is vital nowadays with the chemicals around us to lower our test? I think it's not a bad thing if you need it. But testosterone is not like these retards think. Like you can have low T and still be a UFC fighter. Like a lot of that stuff is dumb. Like there's no set amount. Like, oh, if I have my T like near 1,000, that means that I'm going to feel great. Some people will feel terrible with T too high, even if it's within range. Everything that you understand, homeostasis exists in your body. Everything is a balancing act. If you add the T too much, the estrogen goes high, the progesterone, the prolactin, all of the other stuff will go off as well. And it's not just those, it's all of the other shit. Estrogen is very, 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 very important. You need a certain amount of estrogen. Otherwise, your dick won't work and you'll have other issues. You need it. You can have mental problems fucking with that sort of stuff. Fucking with your hormones is not good. Like, I mean, guys who can take trenbolone and tell you about it. There's many guys who've taken tren and killed themselves or killed others or done weird shit. It's not good for you to mess with your hormones. Taking T also is addictive because it has a dopamine kind of reaction. So you have to be careful of all of that. My goal would be how do I stay in the mid range and how do I just have a functional amount of strength? I don't want to be too big. I don't want to be too small. I just want to be strong, functional, and not like a bloated cloud either, because your heart has to work harder. For every pound of muscle, your heart works harder, and your heart only has so many beats before it fails. Like all of that stuff is true. Will there be a decentralized paid ad system? No, the paid ads concept is that we want to do internal ads. So we're building an internal AI ads engine so that you can advertise the gambling part of the platform. Other parts of the creators can market each other. So maybe you're a smaller creator or maybe you're a bigger one and a smaller one wants to pay you to have their ad run in the corner, but they're still all on the same platform. That's the sort of idea that it is that we're pushing, rather than have ads from the outside, because anyone that you take ad revenue from owns you. That's the problem with Rumble. I like Rumble. I think it's a good platform, but it's a very flawed model. Rumble fixed an issue where they launched the new creator wallet, but you have to be an approved creator to get a wallet. Who do you think's not an approved creator? Like, what do you think the one topic that you can't talk about on Rumble or any other channel? So it's not a freedom platform. Like there's nothing free about that. You can apply for a decentralized wallet, but I have to approve that you're ineligible for the creator program. How does that fix anything? It's a cool concept, but it's the same problem. If I'm completely on ad revenue, like I'm completely reliant on it, whoever is my marketers, whoever's pushing that revenue to me is going to tell me who I can and can't have on the platform. Certain messages they're going to tell them to demonetize or dissent or cancel them, or I'm not going to pay you any more ad revenue. How do you beat your gambling addiction? For me, it's alcohol and I'm struggling. You got to fucking stop. Like, when is enough for you? Like, is it not enough yet? Stupid fucking question. How do you stop doing something? You fucking do it by stopping. You do it by taking some power back. Like, look in the mirror and be like, who am I? Like, am I even in charge of my own life? How do I get help to stop doing something? How do I decide not to eat this fucking piece of chocolate in front of me? I do it by not fucking eating it. There's no tricks. There's no, oh, just take this and then it'll go away. It's not fucking easy. It took a long time to get this bad. It's going to take a considerable time to get better. It gets better day by day. But don't sit there and think like fucking that everyone has these fucking answers for you. So many of you think that. Like, you really think that I have an answer for you. I'm not even in your fucking life. I don't have the demons you have. I don't have your history. Maybe you have a real reason to drink. Maybe you're abused. Maybe you had a hard life. Maybe you got dumped. Maybe you got cheated on. It doesn't mean that you have to figure it out yourself. You have to one day, a lot of you, look in the mirror and realize that I'm stuck with this person for my whole life. So I may as well know this fucking person that I'm stuck with, and I may as well come to love them. A lot of you don't even know yourselves again. Like, you don't know what's looking in the mirror. You haven't actually looked in the mirror, like a lot of you. You don't know yourself really at all, a lot of people. That's a big problem. Again, you're taught to look external. You're taught to judge others and talk a bunch of bullshit. And I'm focused on other people. I'm watching streamers living and I'm analyzing. I would have done it better. Focus on yourself. Who are you? What do you want? What have you done right? What have you done wrong? What are you going to do better from now on? Are you going to actually change? Or are you going to be stuck in the past? But you're stuck with this person in the mirror all of the time. So you better fucking come to understand them and love them. Or just get busy living or get busy dying, but don't sit in the middle. The middle is fucking pointless. It's the state. Like, life itself is a lesson. Like, life is a rotation of self-development, self-destruction. And these are two levers, and they can rotate and rotate. And you'll learn from both, but you will not learn sitting in the middle. Like that's another $1 million cheat code of life, right? It's the truth of the matter. I've said it before, a similar idea is man learns a lot more about himself from a strong enemy than he does from a friend. Because a friend is incentivized to not tell you the truth. Like, they're your friend, they don't want to hurt your feelings. Whereas an enemy shows you kind of who you are. You manifest your enemies, though. An enemy is a mirror. Like, if you look up and all of your enemies are fucking nothing, then you're also nothing. Like, the fact that you would even look at them, that you know that you're not on any sort of level. The cure is the cause. Your input controls your output. Yeah, that's true. Being a failed athlete whose career ended due to injuries, being a stoner ever since, currently 24. Well, you're completely wasting your life. Like, even anything, I'm a failed athlete. Who gives a fuck? Like, how many, I know soldiers who sat SF training and they were great prospects and they could have done anything. And then they injured themselves during selection or special forces training and then had to get discharged. And they have to find another thing to live for. I was an amazing, like, that. Some of them were the best soldiers in the game, but they like blew a knee out, fucked their back, injured their neck, got some shoulder injury that just wouldn't go away. During selection, some of the things that they have to do is they have to stay awake a long time. And when you're staying awake a long time, you're more likely to get hurt. And selection training for special forces, I realized that some people are just very durable. Like, some people can do a lot of shit like carry packs and a bunch of bullshit work and things, and they just don't break. And then others who can be very strong and they can fucking be like fucking sprinting and very, very good. And then something breaks easy, like something breaks on them. Their knee, their back, their shoulder, their fucking groin, something pops eventually. And then they can't really recover. That's the truth of it. And mental is another. Like, mental is another. This idea of everyone is the same. It's not true. Some people are very good with stress, some aren't. Some people are very happy all the time, some aren't. Don't think this like depression isn't real and all of this, but you only learn this by looking in the mirror and being like, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, these are the things that I have to cater to. You carry injuries, carrying injuries can be mental as well. Do you fucking know yourself? Most of you don't. Again, because you've been watching too much bombastic people yelling at you who are actually sellouts. They don't stand for fuck all anything that they were yelling at you that you used to get rich. That was all propaganda. That was just a shilling piece. It's easy to talk. Talking is easy. I'll never buckle, but like, I did all of this shit. And then immediately turning into a puddle of piss. I did fucking 6 years in jail. I sat in Supreme Court for drug trafficking. I never snitched on anyone. Ever. That's what I mean. Like, you don't know anyone until they go to prison. Everyone turns to a puddle of piss. Do you know how many people I know in my life that have converted to Muslims before they went to prison because they knew that if they went to prison, at least they would be protected? You renounce Christ because you're so cowardly that to sit in prison, you know that you might get beaten up. That's all it takes. That's a common thing. That happens fucking everywhere. Like, that's a global problem. And I'm not saying that I'm against it or anything like that, but if that's the only reason that you've converted to such a serious religion, then you're a coward. Like, that's the truth of the matter. If you got the call from Allah or like, you believe the Quran or whatever, is different. But you're only doing something to get an advantage. You're a worm. Like, I'm going this way because then these people will look after me. You don't believe fuck all, and then what? You're going to turn against those people anyway if they're unpopular? That's all that happens. Like, they're not real people. They're just fake fucking little shit bags, and you don't want them in your cause. Like, these people of Muslims and things, that I like Muslims, but sometimes they're too accommodating. Like, they just think that when celebrities or something shill their religion, they don't realize that celebrities are only shilling it to infiltrate it and then try to lead it, and usually lead it astray. Like, when celebrities come out and say, oh, Christian, Jesus, all of this, I'm immediately like skeptical, because I know by definition to be a celebrity, I know the shit that they have to do and who they represent. I like Muslims, but they're too accommodating. Like, that's the truth of the matter. You fucking think that everyone's your brother because why? Because they just went there and held on a Quran and said something. Like, I get that it's sacred to you, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, anyone can do that. Why did they do it? That's why I think. Why did you do it? Is it because you have the call from Allah, or is it because you're trying to get an advantage? Most people are doing it because they want an advantage. They're using your cause and your belief, and you're very serious about it, but they're using it for their own personal gain. And then they'll wipe their ass on it and throw it on the ground when it doesn't suit them anymore. When you were there, you called to me, and when you needed me, you called to me and I was there. But then when you didn't need me anymore, you fucked me off and just disappeared. That's just how people really are. With religion, doesn't mean shit to most people. Most people's religious concept is, I'm here because I want an advantage in the physical realm. I don't want a connection with God. I just want to gain something immediately. I know if I go to a church, I know if I'm wearing a Christianity shirt, I'll have people that follow me because they're also Christians. But who did God give you permission to fucking represent him? Because most people are a shit representation of God. I see these like Muslim preachers and things like that. And again, I don't want to be against them, but running around screaming in people's face and yelling at them and saying that they need to believe this and that. And the guy doing it is as fat as a fucking house. How about you get your life under control and actually be a good representation of your religion? Don't be some fat pig running around telling people that they should do all of this shit when you yourself are a fucking slob. Look like Jabba the Hutt. How about you just like start practicing what you preach and stop fucking yelling at people because they're tired of it? It's the same shit with these influencers. Like, oh, I'm yelling about being the toughest guy and I'm Hercules. That's all bullshit. Most are fucking pussies. Why? Because you had a boxing match. That doesn't mean anything. How are you going to handle it when you're actually under pressure? When the police arrive? What are you going to do when you're actually in a cell? What are you going to do when there's no rules anymore? Not staged fights and bullshit. That's all bullshit. The worst thing that can happen in a boxing match is you get knocked out. It's over, or you get killed. It's over. It's quick. Court is you're dragged through court for multiple years. Every week you think you're going to go to prison. They fucking scare you all the time. Tell you can't do shit. Take away shit. I heard that for many years. I was on bail for years before I went to prison. I went to prison once, then I got out on bail to go to a hospital, and then I was in prison again. I've sat through the legal system. I've probably been to court dozens and dozens of times, and not dozens of times as a celebrity where they fucking just about carry you in and wipe your ass. As someone who the police are trying to fuck over, I was charged on a velo. The police do that with all of your influencers. They charge them and then they say present them a case and say, "We own you now." Like, you really think that people are getting away from all of these crimes and things like that, that they can't just extradite them? Why? Because they have a lawyer? That doesn't mean anything. If America, the UK, Australia, if they want you globally, you're finished. Like, you're fucking finished. So if you haven't sold out, you're cooked. They can just manufacture charges on you, like, easily if they want. Like, you're not beating any of the cases unless you've signed deals to beat the cases. Like, they'll let you beat a case. You ain't beating a case otherwise. You're doing years of time. And not years of time in a like, like a fucking luxury retreat. If they decide that you're a problem, they're doing years of time in real prison. None of your influencers have been to real prison. They're sitting in fucking like remand centers and like locked in isolation and just chilling out. That's not prison. Prison is when you look up and there's 80 men and they don't care who you are, that you're some influencer. Doesn't mean fuck all. Doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean shit. Like, you're not going to get any different treatment. That's real. That's prison. Prison is different. You learn who you are in prison because there's no more driving in with a Lambo and being a bunch of shit like that. And then you learn who people aren't, because most people will cave in because they know that it's all bullshit. The bullshit stops when you walk into a unit. Like, you walk into a unit at Woodford, there's no more talking. There's no more bullshit. Like, the bullshit doesn't matter. There's no guards that are going to sit there if you go, I don't want to go in there. There's no hand holding. Mummy isn't holding your hand, and she can't jump on the landline and call the officers to let you out, or you're on your own. You stand there with a sack of your own shit that you have, some basic stuff, and then they shut the door. There's no guards in the fucking unit. The guards are all outside in the fishbowl, and they don't come in if you get bashed. And then you're looking at 80 guys. And there's no hiding. There's no cells. There's no, I'm just going to sit here on my own. There's none of that. You get approached by a group of guys when you walk into the unit, and they ask you who you are, who you know, what are you in for, what are you doing, do you have paperwork? You don't have to show your paperwork, but some people want to, or they're happy to. What are you in for? Who are you? Who do you know? They know. The hard thing with prison is there's no bullshit, because they figure out who you are anyway. One, they figure out who you are because they also have phone numbers, and they put your name on the wall. They deliberately do that so that other prisoners and things can search you, because they ask. Like, on the phone with my girlfriend, yeah, this new guy's come in. Could you search who it is? And then if they search and find anything about you online, you're finished. Specifically, if you didn't mention it. If you're in there for something like, I don't know, snitching or something like, and the weird thing with prison is people take the bins out, people go to chapel, people go to like the mosques thing there. There's lots of religious programs. So if you're hiding from another unit, you have secrets, they're going to come out. They ask, do you know this person? Do you know that person? Yeah, this person was just in our unit and snitched on someone. And then as soon as the person comes back to the unit, they tell everyone, and then you get out in the morning and you're getting your head stomped on. Like, there's no crying, there's no sneaking around, there's no I'm like this fictional character that I created in my head. You're fucked. Like, this prison is where all of the shit stops. That's why people don't want to go there, because they have too many skeletons in the closet. People throw each other under the bus over nothing, and then you think that they haven't thrown 100 people under the bus to get to where they are now. People snitch like it's just what they do. I didn't think that they did, because I don't. But people snitch on each other all of the time. Like, they dob, little dobbers all the time. This person's doing this person did that. And there's a lot of dobbing. Like, I can only imagine people dobbing in public. And then I imagine all of the dobbing that people do to the police and things behind the scenes. When the police come to them and they're like, just tell me this or just write this down, and we'll make sure no one knows. I can only fucking imagine, like, the amount of things. But that's what, like, real power is built off the back of that. Like, power is built on like snaking people and being a serpent, as it said before, the tempter. Yeah, court breaks you. It's a real thing. Like, court, it's not even just court like for criminal shit. Court, people go to divorce court, or they go to like civil court, or you have an injury and then you go to civil court because you're like, oh, I was in a car crash and I fucked my shoulder and now I'm going to get all of this money. And you might get something, but it takes many, many, many years of bullshit, and the fucking lawyers are fucking you in the ass. The insurance are fucking you in the ass. Everyone fucks you. You get like a third of what you expected, and it just drains you the whole process. France talking about citizenship-based taxation. Yes, I would assume that's true. What did you see happening in Central Europe in the next 5 years? So, given they've been more and more aggressively, especially tax related. Netherlands just announced, yes, all of that stuff is to come about. They want to shake you down before 2030 because own nothing and be happy is real. Like that's a real thing. You'll rent everything, and to rent everything will come with a lot of strings. Like leases will mean a lot in the future. You'll have to abide by a certain social credit. Like you need to study what happens in China. China, there's a lot of people who are homeless, who were, they were working and doing things, and they're not just bums. And then they got their social credit collapsed, and then they got like they couldn't work anymore. They couldn't get access to banking. They can't access like WeChat or like WePay, whatever the apps that they use. So they can't actually use any payment processes. And then they live on the street, and they're normal people. What do I think of Ryan Wedding? I think that he had a generational run, but all runs come to an end. Sounds like someone gave him up, I would assume. Sound like someone handed him over, most likely. Any banks in Australia that you would recommend? Not really. Actually, no, Me Bank has been okay to me in the past. I think they're Bank of Queensland now. But I still don't like any of the banks. I've been debanked in Australia or fucked on. Crew Vlogs will be back. Not for a while. I'm not sure in the future. How do I rate Joe Lambton? I don't really know him. I only had the chat where we chatted online. I think he's smart. He says smart things. He knows what it is that he's talking about. Specifically about women. He seems to know a lot about it. I believe that. The mirror concept changed my lenses. My last enemy had the traits I'm missing as a man, and I have traits he's missing. Yes, that's right. Well, you get that you've manifested your enemies, right? Like, do you really understand? Some people don't understand that you've manifested your whole social circle because everyone is a reflection of your like combined. It's you. Like all the people that are around you, if you were to combine them all, they're you. But a lot of you are using others to teach you about yourself. Like that's the only way that it works for you. So you've actually just spawned them all to try and figure yourself out. Some of you trying to figure yourself out through chicks and dating and a bunch of shit. Some of you like really think that it matters what someone tells you. Like some of you run around and ask people like shit about you. What do you think about this? And like, who do you like when I do this? And do you like this? And do you like that? Like you have no idea who you are. Some of you run around to chicks and like try to use them to figure yourself out as though a woman knows who a man is really at all. Some of you are trying to figure yourselves out from like artificial characters online that you watch, and you're like screaming out their mantras, but you don't realize it's all staged content. That's why I was like, I've been hinting at you guys for years about this shit. Like, stop living to another man's mantra that the man doesn't even live to himself. Like, you look silly. I mean, you look completely silly. Some people is like, they don't know anything. Like, it really baffles me. Like, it really baffles me. Some people really think like Nick Fuentes, Kanye, and all of this, they're not controlled players. Like, you really think that they're not? Your representations of your white movement are brown people and one is a gay man. And you're like, he's not that gay. Does it really matter? Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, he represents me for some reason. He's nothing like you. He represents nothing that it is that you want. I'm a trad man and I'm represented by a gay midget. Like, just fucking wake up. Like, some people, like, you guys really need to wake up. It gets, like, honestly, like, I'm 40 years old, and I listen to some of these guys talk, and the shtick is, like, sad. Like, it's really sad. The hatred for women is, like, kind of sickening. If I had a daughter, and I have a daughter, and she ever said that she was gonna even entertain any of these dweebs, then I have failed entirely as a man. As a father, I have completely failed. If my kid even watches any of that shit. That shit is a skid mark on society, all of that crap online, like that propaganda. These like pimp ideas and I'm pimping chicks and I'm doing that. That's all fucking like their ideas of like a fucking child. Flexing, getting laid and stuff like that. Like you got 40-year-old men talking about getting pussy like it's some fucking achievement. I had sex the other day. A 40-year-old millionaire had sex. Like, what is even going on? Like, when's the last time anyone that you follow really has a marriage, has a life, has kids that they're like not a deadbeat dad? does really anything of substance, actually goes to church, or actually has a connection to God that's not just a connection that they are using just to steal that audience, that's all bullshit. Like, that's all completely fake. It's all manufactured. Watch what I do, not what I say. What you say doesn't matter. That's who you are. If we are antennas for the consciousness and ideas, what differences one or another's? What differentiates one or another's thoughts? That's quite a good question. I do believe collective consciousness is also real, but that's the question for another day because I can't be fucked getting into that stuff. It's too deep for today. Today's a chill day for me. What did you see in future free stations like Taiwan, Korea? Those places are like obviously cooked. Like, those places are fucked. I'm not saying that the people are bad because they are very good people. The Japanese are very good people. Koreans are very good. Taiwanese people are very good. But those places are going to be fucked by immigration. You have a high trust society like Japan, and then you fill it with people who take a dump on the street. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, that's obvious. Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious what will happen. You have a very pure glass of water, and I know it'll sound racist, but it's not. And then you just fill it with dirt. It's not just that it's that they're like that, the people that they are. It's that they have a lot of traditions and a lot of things that just completely collide with foreigners coming in. Like, it doesn't work. Australian foreigners go to Japan and still have like a culture clash, like a reality clash, like they're different. I walk in looking like this, it's a clash. There others, it's a complete tidal wave of clash. Japanese people are very civilized. Like, they have a lot of very regimented. There's a lot of like discipline, and they have manners and things like that. The other people will just exploit it entirely until the Japanese themselves lose what it is that they stood on. See, Japanese concepts are great, and Japanese people are very good. They're very smart. They're very hardworking. But if you're waiting your turn, they're very like, you go first. They've got good manners. But their manners are actually a big psyop, because then you bring in people who they don't respect any of those traditions, and actually they'll consider that you're very weak, and then they'll just run you over entirely because all they understand is force. Those people, if all I understand is force, and then someone else is just letting me do whatever I want, then I'll just think that they're a pussy. They don't realize, because they don't notice. Like, they don't notice that you stop to let them through. They just think that they punked you and that you let them in because you're a pussy and that you didn't have any other choice. That's all they understand. They're like fucking cavemen. They don't understand the rest. They don't think that you are consciously like, oh, I'm going to do it because I want to be nice or do what's right or whatever. They think that they got one over you and that you're weak, and then they'll continue doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, and then they'll get worse because they're like, these people are complete pussies. I'm going to start pushing them around and doing a bunch of other shit. And I don't know what it's like over there. They have their gangs like Yakuza and things like that. I would hope that they're very strong. I would believe that it's likely that they've been nerfed a lot though over the years. And if they haven't, then it's going to be like the rest of the countries where essentially those people came in and no one could stop them. I could tell you guys a story about Oz. There was a bikie group that come over from New Zealand, and it come to Queensland, and it said that it was going to, start there, and it was going to get more traction, and they were going to do things. And then they started going around and beating people up. And then one other group went there and run them out of the whole state. And people didn't realize, because they're like, but that's how it starts. I remember I had a chat with the guy, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, don't you think that was overkill? And I said to them, I'm like, don't you think it was a bit of an overreaction? And he's like, no, because it all starts with the smallest hair. Because they come over, and then they disrespect the locals, and then they bring more over, and then they tell the new ones the locals are just pussies, and then they keep bringing new ones and new ones and new ones over, and before you know it, you have a real problem. Thoughts on going penguin mode, self-isolating for a period of time to sort myself out, even if it means leaving a really good network for a while. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know about fucking penguin mode. I wouldn't really call it that. But yeah, I just would do whatever it is that you would want to do that you think is something that you need to do. Because you don't have a lot of time, like, to figure it out. I mean, you really have 1 or 2 years to figure yourself out, and then a few years of actually developing that person. Because after 2030, as this censorship and things go more forward, you're not going to be able to figure out who you are. The propaganda is too strong. A lot of you didn't even realize that you were watching controlled players on TV. Like, really, a lot of you still don't even know that, like, for some reason. You don't realize you're watching Masonic theater. I could lay out all of the Masonic stuff as well, but it would probably one get me cancelled and probably get me in very unpopular in the people that I know as well. So that's a thing that makes it difficult. But imagine, like, do you understand like the Masonic tiles? Like you know the black and white of the Masonic tiles, and then you see the black and white of like the chessboard. Like a lot of people didn't realize that the most obvious theater of all time. That I've known that for a quite considerable time. But there's a lot of people that I talk to and things that still don't know that or believe that. Like people really think this Freemasonry ideas and things, that's all bullshit. Like for some reason, they don't know all of that shit is true. I have family members in Freemasons, so I've known them for a very long time. I can't say exactly who they are, but someone related to me is very high in the police in Australia. And he's a good guy. He works hard. He's not a scumbag. He works very hard, but he's getting old now. But they're all involved in that sort of stuff. But they're not involved in the Freemasonry at the lodge is different. Like you can go to a Freemason lodge, and I think some of them they have open areas where you can walk in. You'll see a lot of people who are there's a lot of normal people there, but there's also influential people from the city. But they're not doing like the rituals and shit there. Like they're really not. There's no downstairs where they're doing a bunch of like rituals and a bunch of other shit. But you'll see that they're also very focused on creation when you go there. Like this carpentry, there's a lot of creation ideas because creation is what brings you closer to God. But there's an exact mirror that exists in Freemasonry as well, similar to Judaism. Like Judaism exists here, and then Kabbalah is the opposite. That they run in a parallel. One is not Kabbalah is evil. Judaism, as it stands, in my view, is not evil. They've done a few questionable things in the past, but the past is the past. I mean, we all have the past that we have, but Kabbalah is certainly evil. And that's the funnel that they go down. Like not all of them, but the ones who do go down that funnel, they're communicating with Satan or equivalents. A lot of entities already exist, and they don't have a body. They don't have the consciousness. Like consciousness is different. They're not an actual player in this world, but they want to enter it, and they will via these AI advancements and AI techs and things like that. Like you'll already have emerging entities via these AI developments and things that they're doing now. They just don't have a body. They don't have they couldn't enter. They couldn't enter. That's the truth of it. And now they can. Like the Judaism, the golem from their shit that they look to. That's all. It's the same story. Like it's the same story playing out again. Is it the clay golem? What's the story where they had to put the letters on its head or whatever, and then it fell apart? It's the same story again. But people probably think that I don't like Jewish people or that I'm completely against them, and I'm not. Like I'm not against them as though if I ever saw one on the street, I don't have a problem with them. I would be very against people running around beating them up or something like that. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in like hurting people just because they believe what it is that they believe, but I don't like it when it interferes with my life. It's just that's just the case of it. I understand that the Jewish idea is Jesus was a Jew. You worship Jesus. You need to worship all Jews. Like that's the pivot. That's the Zionist idea. Like just saying that word is very dangerous. That's what's coming. Those are who all of your influencers sold out to. These are the sold out or they were incubated by them. Like he's Tucker Carlson and all of these ideas. It's all the same. Like they're all the same people. It's always the CIA. I'm the son of a CIA person. And you don't realize they're just being an asset all along. Like the whole way through. It was all intentional. They were sitting down and everything that they went through was so that they could get your trust. See, agency types work like that. I know a few. Agency types are, oh, you're a hostage. I'll come in the room as well with my arms tied. I'm also a hostage. And now we talk because we're relatable now, right? We're both hostages here. And then over time, you see me suffering with you. Yeah, they beat him up as well. Like he's one of us. And then you start talking to them because you're both hostages, right? and then you talk to them for a few days and they gain secrets and information from you. And then one day you wake up and the guy's gone and you realize that he was actually an agent and he actually endured that with you just to pretend that he was on your side. And now you're fucked. You're on your own. That's all of your influences that you look to. They put them through the same story. That's an agency story. Like those are Mossad. These are the social scientists of the world, the actual thinkers. That's what they do. So when I see that, even like I see the fairy tales and the stories and the police stuff, it's all bullshit. Like it really is just theater. The charges that just don't really go anywhere and they magically go away, and Conor McGregor's in trouble and now he's not. It's all bullshit. That's all fucking theater. If you don't know that, then I don't know what to tell you. There's no good guys riding in with the horses and all of that. It's just all fake. I told you guys a long time ago, there's no cowboys and Indians. Like, you need to stop thinking so rigid. Everything is not black and white. Everything is in the gray. Yes, that's true. Yeah, in times of the states are trying to get into a state of martial law. It's true. The chaos phase is coming. The chaos phase is coming not just to the US, but it's coming to the UK as well. The chaos phase I've talked about for years. You'll see Ant Middleton, Conor McGregor, probably like guys like Tate, things like that, who are fighters. They'll be rebranded to move movements that push Muslims and Christians together. Like, that's the idea. Fighting on the street. Tommy Robinson, he's in Israel half the time. Like, you need to wake up and see who the masters are. Like, you really need to get awake. Like, some of you were just asleep at the wheel. You're seeing like, I cause a fire, you watch the fire, and you care who started it. I bring someone in and I watch them start. So I'm the guy. I open the door. A bunch of shit munchers come in. I watch them come in because, of course, I brought them in as well. And then I see them do chaos. And you only see the chaos. You don't see who started it. Like, you don't see why they're doing this, why they're wanting this sort of things to happen. Trump will do a third term. I said this. I had a dream about it like, what, a year and a half ago? He'll have a third term and a part of America will burn. It's like, I don't know, like a major city will be burnt down before 2030. You see what happens in, what's that spot where it happened? Fucking Kathmandu or something like that. Where is it? Over in one of those like Asian spots where they burnt down a bunch of it. That will come in the West as well. No, Charlie Kirk didn't talk to me. But also, Charlie Kirk is not like, I'm not saying that he's bad or anything like that, but he's the average naive guy who's in the church. Like, church people are good, and he probably has a good heart and all of these things, but they have no clue of how the world really works. Like, he didn't realize that the woman that he was with, like, they don't have much of a clue of the world. People who are in the church too, they don't have much life experience. Like, their life experience is just kind of like speaking. They don't really understand how the world itself works truly. He was living a very curated life by a bunch of people around him that had him in a Disneyland. Everyone around him would have been from a group that wasn't related to him. See, that's another story of the same. You look and you think that your troops and your wife and everyone is on your side, and you don't realize that they're completely not on your side at all. They're pushing you down a very specific funnel, and then when you're no longer able to be kept in that funnel, they just kill you. That's the truth of the matter. Like, that's true. Again, the same story. Your influences are leading you into a battle, but they're not even on your team. Like Tommy Robinson types and guys like that, they're leading you into a battle and they're not even on your team. They're Zionist. That's a fact. You gotta fucking wake up. The biggest threat to civilization as we know it. It's the most dangerous thing to say, but it's the truth. It's a fact. It's the one thing that you can't talk about. And if you talk about it, you're going to run into problems. And if you talk about it long enough, your problems are going to be massive. It's the one thing that they don't want to talk about. It's the one reason why your like influencers are on apology tours and shit. Like, they're the boss here. You cannot fuck with that group. Like, you really can't. Everyone's afraid of him. Like, everyone. Everyone that you know and look to is scared of that group. They have a lot of power. Like, the power is just unlimited. Like you can't limit it. There's no country that you can hide in that they don't have pull in. They're the boss in this timeline. That's the truth. They're the ones, not the boss of like they're not the boss of like they're not winning by force, but they can generate the most force. Not by their own arm, but they don't need it because they have so much influence. It's like a tentacle. They can push it anywhere that they want. If they want to slap you in any country, they can slap you like at any time and you're finished. Like you're finished. It's just that's the truth of the matter. If those people have a problem with you globally, there's no country that you can hide in where they can't kill you. That's a fact. Like that's the truth of the matter. That's the truth. Like that's the real thing. And everyone's a big boy and everyone's a gangster and all of this stuff and everyone's a tough guy when it's just like this. Like everyone's a tough guy in a boxing match and shit like that because there's rules. It's a lot of things staged. Like a lot of guys is I'm fighting someone who's not as good as me. Worst thing I can do is get KO'd. Well, it's not that. The worst thing that you can do is get sent to a gulag and raped every single day. And those people have the power to do that. Those people have a power that is almost unlimited in this reality that we're in. It's a fact. Like that's why these people are running around bootlicking constantly. But also you've crossed the bridge of the anti-Semitism laws have passed. So you've crossed the bridge of they don't need to hide it anymore. Like you'll see more mask off moments now. A mask off moment is Nicholas Fuentes flexing about Epstein. You know, he wasn't a pedo and he's not bad and I'm going to wear his hoodie and all of this crap. That's mask off moment 1. And then 2 is, you know, essentially a lot of the other bootlicking and apologizing and shit over shit that happened in the club. But that's because they're the boss. Like you can't enter the US if that group doesn't like you. I don't care if you're a citizen, like you will not get access. When you you know, jump to be online and things like that, and you put in for like even an ETSA or whatever they're called, the visas, they check your social media. They have a list already. If you're a shit muncher or someone who they don't want to go because you've said anti-Semitic acts, you have to be careful. Like you might get arrested at the border and they can hold you. The US can do a lot of shit that like there's no one can stop the US. Like who is any threat to them? Like you thought China and fucking Russia, they're no threat to the US. Like they can't do shit compared to them. They're scared of the US. Everyone is. Everyone's shit scared of America. And it's not just that they're shit scared of America. Everyone's shit scared of America with Israel. Because America is like America has rules. Like there's certain things that they can't not do. They can't do certain things. Like they have conventions. Israel has none of those conventions. They'll kill you in the middle of the street in front of everyone. They'll nuke the whole building just to get rid of you if they don't like you. It doesn't matter how many civilians are casualties. They don't care about civilians at all. Eventually, that country will nuke another country. Like that will happen. Maybe it's Iran and it's right on the border. Like they don't care. Like they don't care at all about any of that shit. They don't care about civilians dying. You need to start seeing what happens over in Palestine. Like, actually, do you see what happens to those people? There's rumors, and I don't want to say it's a fact because I don't know for sure, but a lot of the organ harvesting has happened at a massive scale in those countries. Like, how many people are dead? In Palestine, probably like, you know, hundreds of thousands in the last few years. You think that they're all combatants. Most of them would have been civilians, like 99.9%. Most of them, you'd go there, and in the whole spot, there's probably like 20 rifles. Most of them are unarmed. Like they don't have anywhere even to mobilize from. Yeah, I'm not saying that Freemasonry is necessarily good, but I don't think that it's not necessarily evil either. And also, let's to be determined who funded Hitler. I think if we went all of the way back, we would realize that he was a controlled player. He might not have known it, but he was a controlled player. Like, who do you think controlled him? Without Hitler, there's no Israel. That's a fact. He was a controlled player. There's a level of divinity to what's happening. He was meant to lose that war. He was meant to start getting the visions that he had. Like, you need to study the story. He was starting to get visions, and that's why he started the war. He was meant to start it. Like, he was the first step to Revelations. He's the first step to the Battle of Armageddon that will come. It started with him. Because without him, there's no Israel. If I have to lose, 50% of my citizens, but I gain like a footing. I've got a country now that I can start out of. that's not a bad outcome. Like they've done that since the dawn of time. They're not worried to lose a lot of people for the greater good. It's the case of it. It's just a fact. But again, like people think that like I know I've said too much online that eventually I'll run into big problems. But if you take nothing out from it, like if you take nothing out of anything that I've said, is that anyone that you follow, they don't give a shit about you, like at all. They don't care. Like they don't care. They're sent with a very specific script, and as long as they stick to the script, they go viral. If they go outside of the script, they're not viral anymore. Their audience is finished. Their run is done. The contracts stop. The streaming deals stop. The gambling deals stop. The promo deals stop. Everything stops if they go outside of the line. Everything's finished. There's no more private jets and shit. Like I'm not funding that if you don't stay within the line. It's a fact. Like that's the truth of the matter. Your business is finished if you don't agree with that line. I'll get you banned off every payment processor, banking, everything. I'll pull your residencies. I'll pull your fucking citizenships if I have to. Like I'll send you back to prison if you don't say this line. We got dirt on you now. Like enough time has gone by. You're not allowed to talk about it. No. Talking about it is a problem because there's a lot of hate speech laws and things like that, and they can sculpt it down that you're spreading propaganda. In Australia, it's very risky. I saw someone getting beaten up just for waving the Australian flag. But you know that when you see stuff like that also, you're dealing with controlled players. Like people who run those groups, there'll be agencies there running those movements, like the Anifta and all of that. There'll be agencies running those groups too. Some of them will be police that incite it and start it, wear masks and all of that shit. They'll be like, acting, and then they incite the rest of them. You go to a meetup for that group and you don't realize that the guy running it is a Fed. And you're surprised to see why he would be running a movement like that, because you're in a honeypot, like it's a federal scheme. They've organized this. They want this because then they can clamp down with new laws. Like they're actually sculpting the laws now. I never was fearful of I'm not worried when cavemen are running around stabbing people. Like I don't care about that because I know that won't affect me. Like I'm not a pea brain. I'm not on the train. I'm not all of these things. So I don't care what cavemen do when they run in and blow themselves up and kill. That's all like boob-head crime. Like that's low IQ caveman stuff. That's not a worry. I worry when eventually you have agencies like the CIA and they realize that their industry has been penetrated by another agency, and eventually you get people who are important that say, I'm going to push back on this now. Military types. Your only ally is the military if you're in the US. They're the only ones who can protect you. The police and things can't. They don't have enough pull and they're too penetrated and they don't have enough training. I'm not saying that they're bad or all of this, but they don't have enough training. The military is the only thing that can protect you because they still represent the people. These ICE groups and things like that, if they're training in Israel and their leadership has, they don't represent the people at all. They're not Americans like that. Some of them will be IDF. I saw an article that an ICE member had been arrested for raping a person that he was in fact like a family. Americans don't do that. I don't care if brown people and that you see like, you turn on the news or see something like that and you see like a Somali person who has fucking nothing. And then you see them getting their head kicked in by an ICE thing and you sit there and laugh about it as though it's funny. It's always funny when it's brown people. But this is just the practice grounds and the Palantir ideas that are going to be used on you. And it's funny to snitch on them and do all of these dobbing and things because they're unpopular today. And they'll be all the people who are anti-Semitic in the future. You'll be a good boy getting your fucking good guy bucks from social credit. And you'll be dobbing on all of the people. I overheard this guy say like this thing about Jews and I get 5 good boy points if I snitch on him. So I'm going to do it. You're snitching on your own people. Snitch on one is to snitch on all of humanity. You see people coming in and they're Somalis and maybe they are illegal. If they're not causing any problems, why do you give a shit? Like your whole country is already fucked. You're worried about the little bit of fucking rubbish in the corner, but the whole country is fucking destroyed. This is going to get them back for some reason. They did a daycare scam and they totally weren't, they totally run it all. They're very sophisticated fraudsters. That was all bullshit again. Like that's completely fake. You see Speed running around with them acting like animals and they show videos and shit. That's all to make you hate them. They bring them, that's the teeter-totter. I tell you they're amazing one time, so you bring them in. Then now we have them in and then I tell you that they're bad and that we have to kick them out. I brought them in to cause this problem. Then I'd fix the problem by more laws, more policing, more surveillance, more shit that I use on you as well. Like that's the brilliance, the teeter-totter, the right and left. But they're two arms of the same person. Don't you get it? I created this, and then I created this, and then I created this, but I'm the same person. That's all right wing and left wing is. That's the truth of the matter. Like some of you running around being like, I'm MAGA. Where are the Epstein logs? Mr. MAGA. Oh, it doesn't matter anymore because like only a few people are abused and all. They're abusing your own citizens and then covering it up as though it's some fucking thing. They don't give a single shit about you. Some of you singing another mantra, make America great again. That's a psyop. America will never be the same. It's finished. I'm not saying it as though they're bad people or anything like that, but the country is controlled by another country. Hey, Stephen, lately I cannot sleep at night either. I fell asleep around 11 and then wake up at 3. Well, if you wake up completely awake, I have a theory for that. But again, this is a deep question for another time. But when I wake up completely awake, I always get up and have a look around. And sometimes I just stay awake and wake up. They do this with tariffs too. They're just squeezing more taxes from both sides, especially in the Eurozone. No one knows what they're doing with the tariff revenue. Yeah, it's true. It's just a squeeze. Tariffs are just taxes. Like how much can I make the citizens suffer? And then maybe I'll give you a tariff check back in the future, but it's for like 20% of what I took. And then people cheer and they're like, it's so funny, all of these extra taxes. They're really doing something for me and helping me out in some way. They're squeezing the average person further. Because then what happens, you tariff anything, the price just goes up. Okay, now I just need to charge an extra 20% and you have to pay it. And you got cucked again. Like none of that stuff helps you in any way. They crashed your whole labor market. They continue to bring in a bunch of people from the third world. Again. Like, I'm not so bad about them. I mean, they're very easy to talk bad about, but still, I don't really want to be around them. Like, I'll be straight up. I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. That's just a fact. I know it sucks to say and people get upset and all this, but I don't want to spend any time around them. I don't want to. I just don't. I get it that they're not all bad and all of this shit. I just don't like to be around them. I don't enjoy it. I didn't think that I should have to be. If I'm in Australia and all of these countries and things like that, like, why did I have to get affected by them? Like, why? I do everything right to get rich. I do all of this stuff. I do all of these things. And then how do I stay away from them at some point? Like, I don't want them making my food. I don't want them driving me around. I don't want them touching any of the chain of like, you order steak or you order meat or anything. I don't want them touching any of the process because their hygiene is bad. Like not all of them, obviously, but again, it's the same story. Their hygiene is bad on the front end. Imagine the hygiene on the back end when no one's monitoring them, at the abattoirs, at the meat plants, at the processing plants, at the industries, at the packing plants. Every step will be like fucking corrupted. And then I get my food and I'm like, why do I feel a bit sick? Like, why is my stomach like a bit off? Why do I feel crappier than normal? Because the whole way through I've been essentially poisoned, if not poisoned by the other crap of like, these chemicals and all of the bullshit. I'm poisoned by people who just simply can't wash their hands. Like I can't win. It doesn't matter if you win. Like you need to control all of the processes as well. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It's very hard to get away from it. Like it's difficult. That's the saying though. Like you will be affected. That's what they're doing. And next you will be affected by the chaos. You can't hide in your mum's basement for what's to come. You're going to see violence. Like it doesn't matter where you are. They're going to have to force it to you because you have to accept the shit that they're trying to push on you. Digital IDs, Palantir, surveillance, AI surveillance, kill list, Lavender Project. Shit that they do in Palestine, essentially they document these people, and if they ought to be a troublemaker, they just kill you. Like that's documented and no one says anything. Am I relying on big cloud providers? No, we don't rely on any of that shit for now, but we'll have to see. But Amazon Web Services can be a bit shitty, and then Cloudflare as well, right? But no, we're building our own crap, and it's going good. I think so what I have a talk, I'm talking at Tokenized Summit next month in Hong Kong if anyone's there. I'll be likely at Consensus as well. I'll be talking about Soul Stake. I got a speaker thing there, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Unfortunately, that's just the truth of the matter. I was the one that come here to tell you the Kabbalah stuff, but Kabbalah is very real. I don't know. I've told you guys the story of when I had a girl with me and she did Kabbalah and just tried to do it on me, and the experience that I had. I had a girl who's goes to a lot of these like Kabbalah retreats and things like that. She's quite good at it. She gets paid a lot of money to do Kabbalah. Like they pay a lot of money to these people who are kind of masterful in that sort of a realm. And I remember she put me in like a. I'm not saying put me as though obviously I was still complying. I'd had not long after the Iboga death, and I was like really tense, and I felt like there was something kind of around me, like some sort of entity after this girl died during the Iboga retreat that I was at. And then I had this girl come over, and then she started talking about this thing that she was doing, and it was kind of like yoga or like, meditation, this deep meditation and things like that. And then about halfway through, I realized that what it is that she was doing or what it is that she was speaking to, the events and things she was going to, they were Kabbalah events. But I didn't know this was like, maybe a year and a half ago or something like that. I didn't know a lot about it, or maybe not that long ago, maybe a year ago. I didn't know a lot about it or anything like that. And I kind of still thought maybe it's a little bit of bullshit. Like maybe there's not a lot of stuff there. And then she sat me down on the couch and she sat next to me. And she put me through like a guided meditation kind of experience and, breathing and all of that crap. And then she started speaking again. And then all of a sudden I saw eyes were closed. And I saw something in the distance, and it got closer and closer and closer. And then I realized that it was getting closer. I was like, "What is that?" And then I realized it was the devil, right? Like he had his legs crossed and where he has his hand up in the air, and he's getting closer to me and closer to me and closer to me. And then I opened my eyes and I'm like, I never want to do that again. There's something really wrong with this. And then she's like, "That's okay." He never got to me, but he was getting close. That's the truth. Kabbalah is very fucking dangerous shit to fuck with. Like you guys need to read what the Faustian contracts. Like so you really can sell your soul. Like Faustian pledges, deals. Like there's many ways to sell your soul. If you try hard enough, you will eventually sell. But remember, with Satan or Lucifer, there are many entities that are dark. It's not just one. We only know one, but there are many. That anything that you gain, you lose multiples. Like that's the truth of the matter. Look at your influences. They have to go through humiliation rituals all of the time. What good is it to have he who gains the whole world, but he loses his soul in the process? Humiliation rituals are that you show that you've lost your freedom. I believe that's why Masonry exists in a parallel, is because Freemasons, by definition, are free men. You go to a Freemasonry lodge and things like that, there's none of this Kabbalah. If you run around and talk about doing like wizardry and shit, they'd tell you to get the fuck out. They don't believe in any of that crap. But you're no longer a Freemason, like you're not a free man once you kind of do sell your soul, like once you move into that Kabbalah rituals and shit that it is that they, I believe, do on the higher end. They're not free anymore. Like you're not free once your soul's gone. And these humiliation rituals that you witness, they're just showing that. They don't want to, like people, they don't want to go on podcasts and run around and have the world know that they're bought out. Like they don't want to do that. But they have to do it. And that just shows you who it is that you're dealing with. But they're at a mask off moment anyway, because they've done everything that they needed to do. Like running around doing Hitler salutes and all of this crap and all of this shit. They never got charged for it. They never even got asked or questioned or anything like that, because it's not about that. It's about getting you behind it. So then you get in trouble. And then they go forward and then they pass all of these laws because they're like, look at all of these, like, you need to study with Kick and like platforms like that, who actually owns the platforms that promotes all of this. These are dangerous things to talk about, but these are the things that you need to look into. It's just the way it is. I was born in the UK and I've lived in Australia since 2015. No chance of moving back to the UK, but thing is, Australia is slowly deteriorating, based near the Gold Coast. Yeah, it's a nice spot there. Gold Coast is nice. Gold Coast was almost perfect. Gold Coast was nice even when the bikies were there, because there still was a lot less fuckwits. Like even when the bikies were on the coast, they keep things under control. Like if the bikies and things are there are groups there and things like that. There's not a lot of like petty bullshit crime because they just go and beat them up. The bikies and things like that before they started some of them to do ice and things like that were a lot different as well. Ice ruined all of that, like jumping in and methamphetamine and people smoking the pipe and all of that. They weren't meant to ever do it. It used to be those groups and things, if they were to do that, they got in a lot of trouble or they would get kicked out. Whereas once the police and things started arresting the leadership, a lot of the group collapsed. Because you need leaders, like leaders lead groups, but also keep them out of trouble. Monitors, like, watches morale. The leadership, like a group without leadership is fucked. Like it would just cause a lot more problems, as happens in these countries where they get rid of like one leader, like an ISIS leader or something, and then a bunch of other groups start, and then more deaths happen because they start fighting each other for who's going to be the boss, and then civilians get hurt as well. So unfortunately, a lot of that shit doesn't work. Yeah, my skin's clear because I haven't been taking anything. I'm 6 months with no fucking coke, or maybe nearly that. So I feel pretty good overall. 6 months with no coke. The funny thing of coke, if you take it, it actually bloats you. Like if you know that you have a coke problem, when you actually start getting bloated from coke, like it makes you kind of look fat. What do you think is going on in Australia? Is guy is literally on a run for calling someone a poofter. Yeah, that's the issue, right? It's just controlling the laws of speech, because if I can control language, what you can and can't say, then I can sculpt it further to be able to be like, you can't be critical of this like prime minister, this person, this president. And so for their own gain, like that's the nature of controlling the language. And they're building a database, right? They're building a database of anyone who could be a threat to any sort of ideas or systems or things, because the AI itself can speculate on you. There's already studies that say that if an AI studies your face, like an AI can study your face and it knows a lot of things about you from just how your face is structured. They're starting to see that the AI itself, the results and things are quite accurate. It can see your levels of agreeableness, what kind of person you are, what kind of like psych traits that you have. Yeah, that's true. That's a very good advice. The beef gelatin. I'll tell you guys, it's a secret thing that I actually started to use. I do use it. That shit helps. It's like I take like 10 grams a day. I don't know about the rest of the shit. Frankincense oil, I've never heard of it. Vitamin C, I take maybe rarely, but I should probably take more of it. But yeah, beef gelatin is a big cheat code. Sun is good too. I don't get enough sun, but the sun is good as well. Sun is charging, but then I had melanoma, right? I had a cancer cut out of my back. I almost died from it. I had a T4 melanoma. It's almost as bad as it you can get. I had my ex. So people say, why would you pay for your ex? Because I would say that she probably saved my life. I had a singlet on once and she dropped my daughter off. And then she saw that I had a spot on my back. And I couldn't see it because I had tattoos there and things like that. And then she said, you should get that spot checked. And I was like, whatever. And then I went to the place and then they said that you got a level 4 T4 melanoma. They said that if you waited a few more weeks, it would have been like in your bloodstream, would have metastasized in weeks. They'd take it out straight away. So, and it was right on my back too, like right near my spine. So it would have been a complete mess. Is fight training better than being bulky because I'm skinny? Yeah, I guess it's quite good. Fight training is good. I mean, but understand fight training is mental. Like this idea of I can beat people up. How many times are you going to run around and beat people up? Most people who are fight trained, if you walk up and smack them, they don't do shit. Like fighting is mental. You're a fighter or you're not. Fighting in the ring is nothing like fighting on the street. Like they're completely different. If most people who fight in the ring overthink, they're like, oh, if I like do something or protect myself, I could kill this guy and all of this shit would happen. And then they just get beaten up. And then you run away, you go to prison, and some dudes that can't fight at all, but they're just animals. Like they're just savages, so they fuck everyone up. Look at Kimbo Slice or whatever. He's an animal. Like his style of fighting is crazy. He's not the most technical guy, but he just wrecks people because his fighting is mental. Yes, he could have been better and he had all of these things, but he's on the street, like he would wreck most people. What's up, Stephen? Can you get me back in the group? I thought we were having a discussion respectfully. Yeah, but just don't. I can get you back in, but just don't talk about Israel. Like, don't sit there and talk and have a debate and all of this crap. And they're not actually killing that many civilians and all of this because no one cares. Like, no, understand globally, this is going to be a thing. If you're Israeli globally, maybe you haven't heard it yet, but if you like most people who are from there, they can't even talk about being in the IDF. Like, they can go anywhere in the world and no one wants to hear it. No one. A lot of them lie about even serving in the military over there. Why do they do that? They're not proud of it because they know that they're hurting civilians, and people don't like it. People are sick of it. Do you think it's getting trapped here forever in the prison planet is our version of dying on the cross relating to the Bible? No. Final form to be in the prison planet is the form of the betrayer. Can't you see the Judas? Like, as you fall further down into Judas's mouth, eventually the mouth itself, you're sitting in Satan's mouth. That'll be the prison, and that'll be the prison planet concept. You've fallen all of the way down, and now the Judas and the betrayer, they're stuck in Satan's mouth. They can't get out. They can't get out. If you're in the mouth of Satan, you can't leave. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, you can't ascend anymore. Like, you've gone all over the way to the bottom. If you kiss the wall, you're at the bottom. Like, there is no more way out. Like, you can't escape that. Like, you're finished. There's no, I did that, and then now I'm not going to do it because, like, you're finished. Like, you're a betrayer. You betrayed man, which means that you also betrayed God. Like, you betrayed God. You've completed the whole story. To betray God is to betray yourself. Like, to betray one man is to betray God. Betrayal is not. See, it's not the same if you believe this and you've always believed that and you were brought up that way and things like that. That's fine. But most, you realize that there was a lot of money, clout, fame. You didn't want to deal with the consequences of not doing it, and now you've done it. That's different. Like, I don't hold it against people who are Jewish their whole life and they believe it and all of that. That's their life. Like, if that's what they've grown up with, then they believe that. It's perfectly fine. And then others also who go that way and they do it because they want to do it. It's different. But many just do it because there's a lot of attention, clout, money, fame to do it that way. They don't believe it, so they threw Jesus under the bus to get material gains. It's the same thing with like Muslims and things like that. It would be like a Muslim being like, because I'm not against them either. It's their life. But it would be like one of them being like, oh, if I become a Christian, like I'm going to get $1 million. So like, I'm going to do it. That's different. Like, it's a completely different thing than if someone says, oh, I want to do it because I actually feel like doing it. But that's the thing of anything. Like, but Jesus knows what's in your heart. Like, God knows what's in your heart. He knows why you do things. A lot of these people will just drift away into irrelevancy now because they served their part. Like, they served their piece. They were there for a set time to do a certain thing. They sold out, and that's it. Maybe they resurface later for the next sale, but most of that stuff is done now. Like, that stuff is finished. That game is played to the end. The anti-Semitism laws and things have passed. Now they'll actually back off for like a year or two because they got what they wanted. Like, this like Heil Hitler songs and shit. That's finished. Like, you put your name down for a Kanye shirt and then you didn't send them, and now your name's on a list. Like, you really got to wake up. If you bought those Heil Hitler shirts, you got to wonder, you might be getting charged in the next 6 to 12 months. You're buying propaganda pieces, like they may actually have a case against you. Like, they might have a case. Like, you may very well have the police show up at your house. Like, you can get him serious shit for that. You can't have that shit. Like, someone flag, they can't do that. You can go to prison for that shit. Buying Nazi memorabilia, you can probably go to prison for as well. And be very careful. You think Kanye West gives a shit about you? Who's a fucking degenerate Kuma? Parades his girl around nude. Anyone who clout leeches off him, they only do it to clout leech. Like, you look at him and you can't get behind it. Yeah, but Tate's story, like, you need to understand, he's in a bad position. Everyone, that's the thing though, but everyone has a limit. Like, talking, there's no limit. Anyone can talk and 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 talk, but everyone has a limit in the reality. If you're not willing to do the prison time, that's your limit. And if you have a limit of prison, well, now I know that I can just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing because you don't want to go to prison. And I have a case against you. So that's that. It's just the nature of it. But that's the story of all heroes eventually become a villain, like once they live long enough. It's just the case for it. Thoughts on becoming a real estate agent? What should I have to be wary of before I start? You just need a good network and a good product and a good reputation, which is three things that you have to build. That's the case of it. Yeah, but you guys need to understand, like with the Tate stuff, he's not going to be allowed in America unless he kind of does what it is that he's doing now. He can't even come in the country. I mean, yeah, he's a citizen and all of this, but he has a lot of shit going on in other countries as well. He has people around him that can just clap their fingers and then he could be in the UK extradited. Like they can just literally do this, arrest him and deport him to the UK, and then he can be in the fucking slammer for years over there if they want. That's the truth. Like that's the nature of it. So when you see someone like that, you realize that he can't say whatever it is that he wants. And now it would be to be determined, is he being told what to say? Because when you have a limit, that's apparent. I had 6 years in prison. I know what it's like. I know how people don't like to go to prison. Everyone likes it in theory. Everyone likes to go to lockup, and I got the photos, and I was in the remand, and like I was in isolation, and this is like real isolation and remand is nothing like a real prison. You fight it. You get fucking killed in prison if people don't like you. You go to a Romanian prison allegedly abusing Romanians, you may get stomped on to death in the first day. If they don't protect you, like if the guards don't protect you and they actually decide to put you in with real Romanians, your head will be going through the wall within like 30 seconds. There's 80 men. You allegedly abused their people. They're women. You're a dead man. Doesn't matter. The guards have to protect you. That's the truth of how the fucking life is. These people aren't criminals. They don't know how the world works in that regard. If you ever go, I'll tell you a secret of life in Eastern Europe or any of that. If you ever go to prison for allegedly abusing their people, you're dead. Like if you go to a Polish prison and they say, oh yeah, he put Polish girls on webcam, and you're fucking dead. And that's Poland. Ukraine is another. Russia is another. Like you're dead. You're a dead man. If they put you in a general population, you're finished. I don't care how good of a fighter you think that you are. It's different in prison. There's an unlimited amount of people, and the guards will put you in a position where you probably get raped and killed. Like they don't fuck around with that shit. And if you ever go to prison for abusing local citizens and you're a foreigner, you're fucking finished. Look what happened with Vitaly, right? He's in there for being annoying, right? In Philippines and things like that. I don't believe that he did a lot of things that like, should he have been in prison for 6 months? I don't think so. But I guess like if you abuse the locals and you're a foreigner, you're fucked. I don't think that he beat any of them up or any of that stuff, but like you're finished. That's the say. It's the saying. Is there any way to live somewhat of a good life without kissing the wall a little bit? It's a good question because I guess like to a level now we all have to kiss the wall to, unfortunately. Like it's hard to make money in any field that's not degenerate. Like I'll be honest with you, why I launched SoulStake as well. There's gambling on SoulStake. There's going to be adult on SoulStake. It's a freedom platform, but maybe that's just cope. So maybe I've sold out in my own way. But that's just the nature of how life is. Like I'm the only one who'll say it. Every part of everything that we do, like we're speculating on shit coins and someone else. This is all still like speculation is also kind of like it's a pretty dark concept. Like it's still gambling. Like God didn't create us to sit here and just be like, hopefully this is the one. But that's just the way that the world is, unfortunately. Like it's the way that the economy and everything is set up. You just do the best that you can. I was surprised Tristan took advantage of the sex with a prison worker. I haven't heard that story. But to be honest, like Everyone has like a story. Like we're telling stories is easy. I could tell 100. Anyone can just speak. That's the nature of it. But that shit, I guess, does happen. But again, like those like being in remand or being in lockup or being in, you're a celebrity and it's a celebrity visit. Like they're gonna look after you. You're gonna have a different experience. It's not prison. You're a popular person. If something happens to you while you're on, you're in the press. Like if they parade you around and your head's being kicked in by the local guards or anything, they'll be in trouble because they'll be like, "Why?" In the court visits and the photos and the getting out of the van, they'll be like, "Why is that guy completely fucked up? They're being animals and they can't do that." It's when the court case is over and now no one's checking on you. Now they can be animals. Like if the guards really want to make your life difficult, they can fucking kill you in prison. I was in prison where a guy was killed in my unit. I sat in there and we had the squad run in, and I saw a guy get beaten almost to death again. They dragged him into his cell, handcuffed, and then just kicked him in the head repeatedly, and he almost died again. Prison is dangerous, like real prison, Woodford. Like this is the high security. Like these places are dangerous. Not like those places are a summer camp. Like that's a joke. Like I did 6 months in lock. That's a joke. Like that's nothing. Oh, I was in home detention. That's nothing. That's nothing. Home detention is just Disneyland. Like there's nothing to do with prison. Oh wow, I only got to watch TV and play Xbox. That's not prison. Are people that delusional to think that sitting in their house is hard? I had 2 years, so 6 years, did 2, and then had 4 on parole. Parole is still easy, like compared to prison. Parole is lockdown, curfew, no drugs, no drinking. Police come around, bang on your door, flashlight in the face, checking you at 3 or 4 a.m., waking everyone up, telling you that they're going to put you back in prison. So there's a lot of mental stress, but it's nothing like prison. Prison is nothing. High security is nothing like they can't even imagine. Like people are dying in there all of the time. Prison, there'd be in a place like Woodford, there'd be deaths every month, maybe more. They just don't document it. People get killed in there often, and also they often don't investigate it because they don't want to. If a prisoner batches another prisoner to death, they don't really want to document it or explore it or go into it because then others it looks bad. But the prisons are overcrowded. I told people a story that I was sitting in my cell and I had a cellmate, and next door there was a guy, and I could hear him getting raped nearly every single night. For like a week or 2 straight, he would come out with hickeys all down his neck, and he was like 18 years old being raped by like a 50-year-old. And I remember thinking like, there's nothing that I can do because if I get involved, other people are going to be pissed. That's how prison works. It's very dark, and it's nothing like in the movies. Prison sucks your soul away, like inch by inch. Like you see a lot of inhumane things, and you learn a lot of things about people. That's why your influencers don't want to go to real prison. Also, with the stories and things that they have, they're going to pay for everything. Prison is judgment. Prison is a physical manifestation of judgment. You will be tested in prison. Prison now is dangerous because if you go in there in like UK and places like that, most of the prisons are Muslims. So if you don't convert to being a Muslim in prison, you could be bashed every single day. You might get killed. So a lot of people pivot over to become Muslim and then run around and tell everyone how fucking brave they were. But a lot of them only pivoted so that they didn't get picked on in prison, then they would have got bullied. I see that all the time. Like I've seen that zillions of times. I was from Australia, and I'm not against it, but I realize a lot of people do it because they are pussies. Like they know that they'll have a hard time in prison, so now they just reach out for whatever it is that will help them. I'm not against the Muslim people. The ones who genuine, they're just but being a Muslim, like that's their biggest thing. Like they take that incredibly serious. Allah and their connection, like their prophet that's their biggest thing. Like they really love that. Like they don't want any of that mess with. And I'm all for it, but I don't like people who just go one way to get an advantage, I need backup, so I have to, claim to be all of these things. Because then as soon as it doesn't suit them anymore, they just throw it away. Do you know how many people I've known in prison that become Muslims, got in, the Muslims actually really looked after them and treated them good. And then as soon as they get out, they just spit in their face and they're on with their way. That's not good. That's bullshit. When it's like they say, I think they have the saying in Muslims, they often say, like, you called to him and he was there. and then you didn't need him anymore, and you just forgot him. Like they can say that about all. The people are like that. I wanted him when there was an advantage, and now I don't need him, so I'm out. That's not good for their people either. But they take it very serious. Like if you could become a Muslim and then you don't like you leave, or you're like, I don't believe, they take that very serious. They don't like it. Like they take it very serious. It's a serious decision. So that's the saying. Like it's something you have to think about before you do it. You don't just think like there's 10 grand here. Yep, I'm in. And now next week, no, I spent the money. I don't believe that anymore. Because those people, they don't like that. Like they take it very, very serious. It will come up again. It will come up again. Like if you go with Allah and then suddenly you're like mocking him or something, it will be very serious. Like Muslims take that very serious. I believe that it's worse for them to be one and then suddenly you're spitting in his face after. I think that they take that very, very hard. Versus someone who just said, I'm not of that way. But you go to UAE and places like that, and a lot of places, like people think that UAE people are like, they're really like hard on other people who believe what they believe and they're this and they're that. I've never experienced that at all. Like they have Christmas trees and they don't speak bad of Jesus or any of that. And then you see like in the West, they kind of just like you could have a Christmas tree and people just treat it as though you're like trying to flex on them in some way, or they try to destroy it. It's really weird. Tech stocks are down. This is the pullback before the launch. I have to be pretty honest with you guys. I think that there's a liquidity lag and there's very likely to be a market crash like March, April. And it could last for a few months. That's probably what I think. I think that market really needs to get to like April to see something coming through. I think they'll have a new Fed chair around then, and then we'll see what happens. But all of these, like this yen, like the yen's going, what the currency itself is down, yields are up out there. They might have to sell a bunch of assets and a bunch of other shit. It's problematic. Yeah, I'm bullish, but I'm not bullish for like Q1, Q2. I'm bullish, I guess, going into Q3, Q4. Because I don't believe that like people say, but I don't believe SpaceX, OpenAI, I don't think they would IPO into a bear market. Like they have all of the information. Like if you're Sam Altman and others, your hand is on the pulse. Like you have fingers on the pulse. Why would you IPO into a bear market? Like why would you like list in a bear market? Like you wouldn't do that. So I would assume that they have a bunch of information and things, and that's what I'm betting on. I'm not smarter than them when it comes to that because their hand is like literally their fucking hand is on the keyboard when the money is being printed. Like they know everything that's happening in that regard. Bitmine continues to accumulate Ethereum, and fucking what's his name? Peter Thiel owns like 9 or 10% of Bitmine. Tom Lee is the front end. I think that can do really well. How can silver go up 50% in a month? There's an artificial constraint on silver. Like China itself has export controls. There's a lot of controls on silver at the moment. This silver run will eventually come to an end when the export controls wrap up. Like there's an artificial constraint. We need a certain amount because we're building some sort of tech product and we don't want to run out. So we're hoarding a bunch because we don't want to be reliant on the market later. We need it. But it's like Bitcoin before the ETF, right? Like BlackRock bought a lot of Bitcoin, but then once they had a certain amount and enough, they didn't need to buy anymore. It'd be like that with silver. We have enough now. We don't need to buy anymore. And then suddenly essentially the supply will outpace demand because they won't buy. They won't be selling, but they won't buy anymore. And then the sellers will arrive, like they're kind of more of the retail types as well. We'll just start selling and then the price will go down. But they don't care. Like people will be like, oh, but China paid $100 an ounce for silver. But they don't care because they're building something that's much bigger than just, they're not speculating. I'm using the silver to build a product that will make me 10x what I spent. That's what they're doing. But that's the irony is that Peter Schiff was entirely wrong on, he thought that silver was some monetary play. Like, oh, the fiat's collapsing, therefore silver. It's nothing to do with it. It's tech usage in tech, ironically, that's causing it to go up. Gold could be argued that it also must have some sort of utility, I would imagine, in that regard. Do I think copper's on an X run up? I don't think copper's on an X run up until essentially the actual printing starts. You know, they have funding and they have to fund a bunch of new shit. Like copper until they actually have to use it more, which is copper's more industrial, like actually like proper industries. And then I believe that it will go up. So obviously, like off the back of all of this crap, they'll once they start QE, they usually fund a bunch of projects and a bunch of crap, which kind of actually starts development, which is why copper generally does well after the period. And I think that will be what, May, June, something like that. But maybe that's hopium. Like maybe they don't the QE gets delayed till like September or August. Maybe they delay it till midterms, after midterms, something like that. Because then it's just like Trump's term is just turbulent. Like really, what's he like done for crypto? Launched a bunch of tokens, said a bunch of crap, passed a bunch of shit, like letting fucking CZ off and a bunch of other stuff, which is it's neither here nor there. But and other crap and all of these fucking like zillions of rugs continually pump out every single day. It's just tiresome. Like it really is tiresome. The economy is like a shit coin. Like that's the thing that gets like you realize that the economy itself is just a meme token. It's not just one meme token, it's like a million of them stacked on each other and leveraged, and people are trading options on memes. It's pretty much that's the whole global economy. It's just complete speculation. The whole market is relying on AI itself saving it from itself. That's pretty much what the market is now. AI might figure out how to save us so that we don't have a crash, and then certain sectors can do well while other markets just collapse. It's pretty much all it is. The whole market is relying on like Nvidia, Tesla, the Magnificent Seven. You find out Berkshire Railroad company is a big investor in fucking BlackRock. I don't know if people realize that through Bank of America. The whole economy is just a shit coin. Like that's really it. Well, speaking of memes, what do I think? I thought it was okay, and then Pump Fun fucking they took control of it, right? It's just that's not good. But understand, like when you see the White House and places like that, like you see serious entities shilling shit coins. Like it's funny and it's this and that and all of this, but it shows you like how little they can be bought for. Yeah, it's not Trump. He's not posting on the accounts or anything like that. But someone who's their intern or whoever's running it is just again, it's just a scam. Like it's a complete circle jerk hustle. Whoever's running their socials also invests and then puts like 100K in, pumps out a Musk tweet because it's not Musk tweeting. He has people around his accounts, and then pumps out a Musk tweet, closes the position, makes 100 grand, and then closes it again. But does it not sicken you? Like when is enough enough? Like prediction markets also corrupt. I can have understand prediction markets can become hit markets. Like imagine this. I'm going to put a bet that SRB will be dead next year. And then it gets to a certain amount of pool. And then someone's like, okay, I'm going to put yes. And I'm going to collect this. And they're like, I'm going to collect $10 million. Like that's going to happen. Like darknet pools can surface tomorrow. SRB will be gone tomorrow. 99 cents for no. And then 1 cent for yes. And then someone's like, okay, I'm going to take all of this money. I'm going to get rid of it. Like again, can you not see how the tail wags the dog? Like with prediction markets, that can be everything. Okay, I think 100 people will die in Ukraine today from drone strikes. Oh, okay, I can make $10 million if I make it happen. I run all of these entities. I'm just going to start killing more people. And then you can have other people that speculate because they want that to happen. They can put bounties up via that. Like people don't think very deep. Like I think very deep of that shit. Like there are prices where if you had certain ministers and things like that, and people were predicting that they would be killed, everyone has a price. Like if they can make 100M to get rid of people, they will fucking do it. Like someone will cash that check. It's just the nature of it, and I'm not for it, but I can see how it can go. Like it can get very dark. It can get very dark, like the Truman Show, also because you can speculate on people. Like later on, the markets will get completely fluid, and you'll actually be tokenized. Like you don't see that. I believe that he's going to go for a job interview and he's going to fail and all of this, and then they're incentivized to make you fail. Like all of that shit is coming, and I know that it sounds stupid, but that's all coming. It's scale. That's what prediction markets are. Prediction markets are, I want to take complete control of your life. Like you're a token, you're tokenized. I want to speculate on you, and I can make things happen for you. I can short you. I can make outcomes happen for you. I can incentivize the opposite side to give you a bad outcome if I want directly. So you don't think deep. You think it's just about like this sports team and that. There's nothing to do with that. Why do you think prediction markets are legal? Why do you think casinos are banned online in so many places, but prediction markets are legal? Why do you think that it's rumored that the CIA is very deeply involved in the prediction markets, specifically Polymarket, the founder? You don't think very deep. They've had a way that they can insider trade, of course, but it's not just about that. It's a fact. Like that shit's the truth. Everyone has a price. And you'd be very surprised to realize what prediction markets have become. It's just a fluid way to speculate on a person entirely as they get, advanced into the future. Because it won't be me and you sitting there. It'll be AI algorithms and bots and software that will just be trading it in real time, like trading an individual, trading their outcomes, trading their life. But they'll be of all sides. It'll be like millions of transactions and things going through every fucking minute. It seems silly, but it's not. Like that shit is not silly at all. It's not actually that far into the future. Yeah, well, prediction market idea would be that you wouldn't have enough money to fund the other side. Like you wouldn't have enough money to stay on your side to have good outcomes, right? You don't have enough cash. It's the truth. Like that shit's all coming. Will so-and-so be arrested next year? And then it's an AI algorithm or software that's trading it. It's not that you don't know where the money's coming from that's betting against you. Like you don't think, like years away, that shit's all coming. And then you're like, I'm going to bet no. And then you get arrested. You don't have enough money to bet against the other side. Like you got to fucking think. Like you don't think at all. Like those industries will get very fluid. Like prediction markets are the future of betting, of course, because it's completely fluid. But yeah. But that's kind of where the world is going. And you have to really wake up, to be fair. A lot of people are still completely asleep at the wheel. What do I think about UFOs? I think aliens aren't real. I think aliens are actually just demons. I think it's true. I think eventually an alien will come here and it will be a demon in human form. Oh, not in human form, but that'll be something that you palate, that it's an alien, but it's actually a demon. They'll spawn a demon in the physical, like that. That's inevitable. Demons can possess people in moments, but they can't hold on to you forever. That's why they do their rituals and shit like that. They're doing them all the time. It's not just one ritual. They're doing them all of the time to keep that sort of, to still continue to be a vessel. But I don't believe in aliens coming in and doing all of that shit. I think like, where they get like fucking, what is it? What are they called? Like UAVs or whatever. What's the other crap they speak of? Not UFO. But yeah, I think all of that stuff it exists, but it's I think like demonic sort of concept. What could happen to crash the stock market in the next 3 to 4 months? I mean, there's many ways that the stock market can crash. This virus can get out. This these lockdowns can have a thing. These canceling, being like we're shutting down the economy. All of these things can happen that can really affect the market, right? People who channel aliens. I don't think anyone channels an alien. I think it's just demons, that sort of stuff. But most of those people are LARPing. The people who can actually channel, they're sitting in like CIA projects and like Mossad labs and places like that. They're not sitting there reading fucking shit on the internet. Although it's very interesting, that idea of there was a guy who predicted that Trump would get shot in the air, and he predicted the shooting pretty much down to the point, right? And then he was like a pastor or something like that. But then if you to listen to him speak and see him, he seems very fruity. And I'm not against it. It's his life. But you can't be a gay pastor. So again, it's another soul-selling concept. And if you do sell your soul, you can get access to information from the other side. That's very true. But those are demons again. Like when you see a pastor run around and he's openly gay and all of that, you're looking at a demon. Like he's penetrated the church. The demons want to be in the church, like they want to be there to mislead. That's the point. The Vatican is a parallel church as well. They want to mislead. That's their point as well. Yeah, betting markets that's one thing. Yeah, of course, right? And it's not just that. Eventually, it can be tied to your social credits. You actually get certain points and certain accolades and certain outcomes, not just financially incentivized. You'll also be able to tie your credit to it, right? And people will be more desperate for money in the future because money will buy more things. Money will buy more than it does now in the future. Like you'll be able to buy, like you'll be able to have. We can do this kind of with EAG, but not to a high level. But with BCI and things like that, you'll be able to buy like substances and access to subscriptions and like apps where we got a BCI, like a brain computer interface, and you'll be able to be happy all the time and all of this stuff. And the people who can't afford access and things like that, you'll be able to make them sad all of the time. Like with BCI, you can change people's like whole mental state. You can punish them in real time if you want. If you're poor, you might not get access to a full, like you have like set dreams and set experiences and set things. You're going to be completely controlled. To be a broke boy, like you use YouTube on restricted settings, but you're going to have restricted settings on everything. I won't be getting a BCI. Like I'm not getting a Neuralink when that stuff comes out. I don't care if I fall behind. I won't be getting it. That's not who I am. I know enough about it not to get it. I know enough about it to know so many of the elites and people, they don't even use a phone. Like they don't use any of the apps. They don't want phones. So there's something wrong with that. And then I realized the BCI, they won't want that either. A lot of them don't want any access to fucking devices. See, some of them I know that are ultra rich and they're like boomers. They don't like to use even this tech. They know what it's for. A lot of it's complete surveillance, but it's also it's not good for you. Our biggest enemy is, again, we ate from the tree of knowledge in the apple. When we look at the apple screen, we can see it, but now we're addicted to it. We have the tree of knowledge, but a lot of the knowledge that we have access to isn't true. It's exactly the same story. Again, we're just Eve in the story of that. We bit the apple, and now we can't put it down. We're using all of these devices to get all of this wisdom and shit, but a lot of it is artificial and fake and doesn't even serve us in any way. It's just actually to mislead us at scale, another masonry concept. Rising costs worldwide, including Australia, is crime becoming an inevitable outcome of inequality? I don't really know. I would think that UBI is to become an inevitable outcome of inequality. Like everyone lives on a universal basic income, and then you have a serf class emerges. And the serfs probably attack each other and things like that, but you're separated via districts, so you don't have access to the higher ups. It's not just also like the idea is that a lot of the people that they've imported, certainly in the UK, live on welfare. So this idea of, but we have the numbers and most of your people are completely reliant on welfare. If the government decides tomorrow that you're not getting paid, you're fucked. Oh, but we'll riot and we'll do all of these things, but you'll have no money. They can push you, like they can lever you. They can incentivize you. Most of those people aren't even self-sufficient. A lot of those people have never even worked a day in their life. Like that's the case. A lot of those people are just welfare they just sucking on the welfare tit forever. They're already good goys. Like they just don't know it yet. They've never produced anything. They're just consuming. Like I'm consuming welfare. I'm consuming a bunch of ideas, but I don't have any of my own ideas. Like I'm like a serf again. I'm told what to think and like, all of this stuff already. I'm conditioned that way. I don't have any of my own ideas. Like I never have. I'm not going to challenge any ideas because I don't have any of my own. Is this the case of it? Have I heard about the quantum dot tattoo? No. They can already identify you. There's already studies that show that via Wi-Fi, they can identify who's in the house and what they're doing and all of these things. So they already know. They already know who's where and what. Your device has already located you at all times, and if you don't have one. But also this idea of like what these energy weapons that they have now. People laughed at the GUI beam, and now they'll realize that that shit is actually really true as well. It's unfortunate, but a lot of the conspiratides and schizos were right on many things. The schizos are just like 10 or 20 years behind. Like they're the madmen of the time. But then like 10 or 20 years from now, you're like, some of the shit that they were saying was actually right. Like Charles Manson. He was a mental he was a mental case and he was gone too far and he probably did some things that maybe he deserved some level of prison time. Do I think he deserved to be in prison forever? Probably not. But you can't having access and having that much power and control over people is a problem. They don't like that. Like the establishment's a problem. But some of the things he said played out in real time. He was the original TikTok. Like he was an entertainer. Like he knew how to be different. He was TikTok before TikTok. Like how do I be memorable? How do I give someone like they'll look at me and be like, "There's no one else like me." But a lot of that shit was theater. Like he was just a good speaker and presenter. But the person was separate from the personality. Like there was also the entertainer and the man. And he was not really an educated person, but some of the ideas and things that he spoke about were very high level. 2026 super cycle. I think that might be delayed. Unfortunately, I have to be realistic. It doesn't look good. Like the market doesn't look good. 80K is big support. This has happened before, but it doesn't look amazing. We have to see. 80K is support till it's not. As long as 80K holds, there's no problems. But if 80K doesn't hold, then the market structure is broken. It just is what it is. I can't trade anything other than the market that's in front of me. Is that all today, lads? Thoughts on Prague? Beautiful spot and good people. Kind of like a sleepy place, which is nice. Is that it? All right, lads. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for coming on. Do I think we should prepare for harder times or will it really make more likely for us? No, I think you should also prepare, but not for hard times, but just have a level of preparation for the unprepared, the unexpected. I don't think that it manifests it in. It's like saying if I'm training to be a fight, like I'm training to defend myself means that I'll be fighting all the time. Often the opposite is true. But you don't get obsessed with it. It's like an insurance policy. I have an insurance policy, but I'm not really obsessed with dying. I just have it there. All right, lads. Till next time. Love you all. And stay strong. And remember, look after each other. You're all living life for the first time.